Well, I went to the Giro d'Italia in 2012, and you know, it was just really, I wanted to win stages, and I got in the red jersey and the points jersey, and I wanted that. And ultimately, I lost out by 1 point on the very last mountain stage, the penultimate stage of the race, and yeah, thanks. So I had a crash early in the race, you know, and that hurt a little bit, you know. It's a hard race, the Giro, and it's notorious for being mountainous, for suiting the climbers, and that even means the points jersey normally goes to a mountains rider. For the last few years, you know, sprinters haven't been able to get it. It's been climbers that have got the red jersey, and the red jersey is equivalent to the green jersey at the Tour de France. Yeah, so we went back last year, and it was kind of the same, you know. If I could go for it, we'd go for it, but it was more about winning stages, you know. My strategy for winning points jerseys has always been win as many stages as possible, and hopefully it comes from that. We went with a strong team, a team that we hadn't really ridden together too much last year, and we worked well the first day, won the first stage in Napoli. I was able to wear the Maglia Rosa, but yeah, to be fair, I let the team down in the team time trial on the second day. They were strong, they had to wait for me because I was in the pink jersey, and so I really had to pay them back, and they were just riding out their skins the whole 3 weeks. In the mountains they were with me, on the flat days they were with me, and like really riding until you could see their legs not going straight anymore. They were wobbling, yeah, we won the five sprint stages. That when there was a sprint, every sprint there was, we won, and ultimately came out with the red jersey at the end of it. So I was super happy. I was so proud of the team. Like, we really emotionally worked so well together, and physically worked even better at the Giro last year, and yeah, it was a very, very successful Grand Tour. It was a little bit, I was tired after it, you know. It's the weather conditions were bad for 3 weeks, but ultimately it gave me my collection of Grand Tour points jerseys. I'd won the green jersey at the Tour de France, the green jersey at the Vuelta, and then now the red jersey at the Giro. So I think in terms of what I can do as a Grand Tour sprinter, it really completed it, really. Well, the Treviso was my 100th win. It was a hard day. It was only a short stage actually, but super bad weather, like really raining the whole day, really windy the whole day. The peloton was splitting all over the show, you know, and we rode from the front from the beginning and controlled it, and that was really, really nice, you know. A break went, and we only actually caught the break in the sprint. Like, I think Gert passed him with 350 to go before he dropped me off, and that cut it fine, you know. We really, at that point, teams weren't helping us chase, you know. We'd won already, and they weren't wanting to help us chase, and so we really outnumbered at the end, you know. But the guys rode with the hearts more than the legs. They rode with the hearts. They didn't give up. They just gave everything, and that was a beautiful win. But then the day after, I didn't want to ride for a sprint, you know. If we had a team that was like fully rested, fully recovered, and able to work hard, then we go for a stage of a 250-kilometer trek, you know. So I said no. Like, we rode hard yesterday, we go easy. But Brian overruled it. Brian's my director, and he overruled it. Said we ride, and yeah, break had got like 14 minutes. There was two guys, and they almost brought it back alone. And then it was getting over some climbs at the end. There were 10k climbs, but I know I can do it. I think it's a common misconception that I can't climb. The fact of the matter is, if there's a hill that I'm not going to win on, there's no point being 1 minute behind when I can be 40 minutes behind, you know. It makes no difference. I'm not winning the race. So normally I'll finish 40 minutes behind, and it's like, oh, he can't climb. I can climb. I'm not a bad bike rider, to be fair, you know, and that was one of those moments, you know. I have to get stuck in. I need the whole team around me, but the team stayed around me in a bubble, protecting me from the wind, and just giving me morale on the climb, you know. And we got to the finish, and I won. So I was spent, but yeah, it's one of my most memorable victories, you know. Like, a team that just rode and rode and rode, and for one cause, and it worked out, you know. Yeah, it's kind of just how it works. Like, there's a lot of riders, especially sprinters, they see themselves as a rider, and they have 8 guys riding for them. Like that's not how it works. Like we all have a job in a team, and I'm just the 9th part of this 9-man team. I'm not one person with 8 guys riding for me, you know. So, you know, if everybody gives 100% and I don't, whether I win or not, that's not fair, you know. I give as much as everybody else gives, and if 9 guys give 100%, I can guarantee there's not many other teams going to be doing that. So more often than not, you're going to come out on top. Yeah, I think I was tired at the Tour de France. Actually, I trained well into it. I recovered well after the Giro. I trained well into the Tour, but I really went deep in the national championships. It's only a 1-day race, but I did have to go deep to win it. You know, we were up against 87 riders from Team Sky. You know, it wasn't that easy, and yeah, it took its toll. The day after, I didn't feel well, and then ultimately I started the Tour de France on antibiotics, you know, and actually I had an adverse reaction to the antibiotics, which is another knock-on thing, but I think it was all just this cumulative fatigue, you know. It wasn't just the Giro I'd raced, but I'd raced a lot of times before. I think I'd raced more than 60 days before the Tour started, or about 60 days before the Tour started. That's like more than some guys riding the whole season, and for sure, the bad weather in the 3 weeks of the Giro, it added, but we won 5 stages, won the red jersey, you know, it was worth doing. It was something, no sprinter really wins a red jersey anymore, so to be able to go there in a new team and ride, display Omega Pharma-Quick-Step as much as we did, you know, it was a nice thing to do. No, ultimately I'm a sprinter. Ultimately I go and win sprints, you know. I was employed by Omega Pharma-Quick-Step to win at Grand Tours, you know. That's what I've specialised in. I've won nearly 50 Grand Tour stages, and so that's what I specialise in doing. So ultimately that's always going to be my main aim, but pretty much I have too much hard work by my teammates and my staff around me, and I earn too much money to just rest on just doing 2 Grand Tours a year, you know. I need to win well, whatever race I'm at, really, you know. And the pressure's there, not just from, well, it's not really, it's probably the least amount of pressure from my team, you know. I get a lot of pressure from fans, from media, but especially from myself, you know. I like to win, I thrive off winning, and so I want to go and be successful in every race that I do anyway. So no, you know, I'm always going to race. I love racing my bike, I enjoy racing, so whatever race I go to, I'm going to get stuck in, you know. It's how I was brought up, it's what I still love to do. Yeah, it's just I'm not as young as I was. I don't recover as well as I do, and that's just really an analytical thing. It's something that's quite easy to solve. You just got to, I know my body well enough to know if I'm overdoing something or if I need to do more, and I'm lucky that Omega Pharma-Quick-Step's a team that enables me to do that. They're flexible, and they believe in me, so they listen to what I need, and we can change things how we go.